Hello everyone and welcome to the ultimate guide to the Peak District. So the Peak District is one of the most beautiful and diverse regions in England. It's packed full of beautiful villages, impressive mountains, ridges, caves, castles and so much more. So we're starting our journey with a personal favourite of mine, and that is the epic Thor's Cave. It sits high up on this cliff looking out over the Manifold valley below, and as you can imagine, the views are incredible. So from here, let's head to definitely one of the most iconic locations in the Peak District, and that is Castleton. This is a charming village that is famous for its castle, its caves, and its picturesque streets. The perfect place to start your exploration is by climbing up the steep hill to Peveril Castle itself, which offers stunning views of the valley and the village below. So located directly underneath the castle is Peak Cavern. It's actually the largest natural cave entrance in Britain. And on top of that, this cave has possibly the best alternate name of any cave in Britain. So next we are taking a short 15-minute drive from Castleton onto a beautiful, short but sweet hike that you can do up to Bamford Edge. This is a rocky ridge that overlooks the Ladybower Reservoir and the Derwent Valley, and it offers what I think is one of the best views over the surrounding area, as well as some epic photo opportunities as well. But what's great about this hike is it's actually very short, so to get these incredible views you don't actually have to walk very far from the road. But next up is a view that you definitely do have to walk quite far to get to, because we are heading up to the top of Kinder Scout, which is actually the highest point in the Peak District. And it's definitely worth it when you get to the top, because you can see Kinder Downfall. And this is actually the highest waterfall in the Peak District. We went in summer when it's usually just a small trickle over the rocks, but in wet weather and strong winds, this waterfall is actually famous for blowing upwards, which I can imagine is an incredible sight, but I guess you do have to brave the wind and rain to get up there, so, you know, your choice. So heading over now to the other side of the Peak District and to a very unique location, and that is Lud's Church. It's a deep, mysterious chasm hidden in this forest, and it's just very eerie and spookily cold down there as well. It's around a 30-minute walk from the nearest car park to get here, but it can be extended if you want to see some more of the surrounding scenery on your way. We did this hike on a beautiful but freezing cold winter's morning, and the scenery was just incredible.
Yeah?
Yeah, go.
No,
a bit further away. And then walk over it.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah?
Yeah, go. And stop! And by the way, if you're wondering why I'm filming this video inside and not out in the fields like I usually do, that is for two reasons. Firstly, it's winter, it's getting cold now. And secondly, we actually have a new addition to the Alex Travels crew. And this addition is taking up a lot of attention right now. She's being very calm right now, but usually she's trying to eat something that she's not supposed to be eating. Yeah. But yeah, you'll be seeing much more of her in future videos when she's a bit bigger and able to go outside. But yeah, right now she's a menace. So we're moving on now to an 8.5 mile long former railway line, but now it's a beautiful path called the Monsal Trail. Now you can either walk or cycle along this trail, but I would totally recommend that you cycle along it. You can actually hire bikes at either end, and there are so many amazing sights to see along your route, including some of the old disused railway stations, massive tunnels to go through, pretty villages, including Bakewell, by the way, which is home to the Bakewell tart. So you can load up on those, get some calories in. And the highlight of the trail for me, which is pretty much right in the middle of it, is Monsal Head Viaduct. This is a Victorian viaduct, and top tip, if you follow the river a little bit underneath it, you will find this gorgeous waterfall, which is another perfect spot for a swim. So next up we have what I think is a very underappreciated hidden gem in the Peak District, and another one of my personal favourites, and that is Parkhouse Hill and Chrome Hill. These two hills are so distinctive and stick up from the ground seemingly out of nowhere. It's the perfect place to be at sunset, as you can see. From here, we're going to another slightly lesser known historical location, which is Magpie Mine. This was a former lead mine that was active from the 18th century up until the 1950s and was actually one of the most productive in the Peak District. Many of the original buildings and machinery are still standing to this very day, and in fact when we went we could even see the warm air coming up from the mine shaft.
There's nothing.
You can see the steam.
What, Steve?
Come stand where I am. If you put your head over it, it feels hot, right?
Oh yes, it does.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Hello?
What are you expecting?
Hello? No. Daddy.
Ellie is recreating the important role of the horse. So next up we have Robin Hood's Stride, or we're supposed to have Robin Hood's Stride, but us being the geniuses we are hiked up the wrong hill next to it. So this is actually Cratcliffe, but it's still an incredible place to see, by the way. Sometimes when you get yourself lost you find you see the best things. But Robin Hood's Stride is another rocky outcrop next to this one. And it was actually a filming location for the legendary movie The Princess Bride. A 5-minute walk away from here is also 9 Stones Close, Stones Circle, so you can get some ancient history as well. There's not many stones remaining today, but one of them has been used to prop up a nearby fence, which is an incredible use for a Neolithic stone. From Robin Hood's Stride, we're heading to a very underappreciated location, and that is Lathkill Dale. You can walk along the river in this valley and see some very interesting spots along the way. My personal favourite is this old house, which was originally built in 1830. And this house actually covers a deep shaft that used to hold a water pump that was used to drain the mines in the area. But today the ruins are so picturesque. Another great thing you can see is, of course, this beautiful waterfall as well. Next up on our list is the most unique spot I have in this video. We actually discovered this on a freezing winter evening. I think it might have actually been Christmas Day, which was the most unique Christmas day I've ever had. But me and Ellie hiked along this seemingly insignificant moor, not really following any paths and getting soaking wet. But after around 30 minutes, we found this. This is the crash site of a B-29 plane. It was a US bomber plane that crashed on this moor in 1948. It was carrying a crew of 13 men and they were on a training mission when it hit the ground due to poor visibility. Very sadly, all of the crew lost their lives in this accident, but remarkably, you can still see the remains of the plane scattered on the moor today. Just so surreal and such a powerful and impressive place to venture to. After this we get to another icon, and that is Dovedale. It's definitely one of the most popular valleys in the Peak District. It's known for its limestone formations such as the iconic stepping stones that cross over the river, and if you walk a little bit further up the river you can find the epic Reynard's Cave, another cave famous for its history of human inhabitation, as many historical artifacts have been found here. And now for our final location of the video, and technically just to the south of the Peak Districts, but I really have to mention these rocks because they are incredible, and that is Harborough Rocks. It's home to some fascinating formations, including this cave, as well as the remains of an old mine that looks like something straight off a movie set. The views over Carsington water here are amazing too, which by the way is a great place to do some kayaking or canoeing, any kind of water sports as well. What's your Ellie review on kayaking?
Good.
And yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this, I guess, ultimate guide to the Peak District. Obviously there's not everything to do in the Peak District included here because this video would be way too long, but I think there's a really great selection and some of my favorites in here as well. We have visited the Peak District a lot over the years, and we actually have a lot of videos from the Peak District, so if you do want to see some of these places more in depth and a few more places, feel free to click my full Peak District playlist that you can see here. Please subscribe if you did enjoy this one, and consider leaving a like if you want to see more. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.